You can't make this shit up. What's up, YouTube? It's your man Boys for Life coming at you with another fucking video. You will not believe this shit. Like, you literally cannot make this up. Like, I don't understand these logics. I like to use numbers, right? Just like this guy that I'm about to make a video about, and it's funny. Because, again, it's an Eagles fan, and this is the biggest Eagles homer I've ever seen. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being a homer. That's your team. That's what you like. You know, I like his videos. It's comical at times. I like what he has to say. It makes me laugh, you know. But to think that half your team, or, 6 players or whatever, 6 players on your team are for sure Hall of Famers is, I don't know. But anyway, this guy, you already know, Lord Brunson. I'm just gonna come out and say his name because I'm gonna play a couple of clips from his last video that he talked about Darren Sproles being a for sure Hall of Famer, and it's mind-boggling to me how he can think that the mediocrity. Now, I wouldn't call Sproles mediocre. He's a good back. He is. He's very good. He's a good back. But the numbers to me aren't there. They're not. And I'm gonna make 2 comparisons. But first, Lord Brunson to me lost all credibility in this video when he said, in the video that he posted, and I'm going to play the clip, when he said that Devin Hester is a for sure Hall of Famer, or he's going to make it to the Hall of Fame. I can't remember if he said for sure Hall of Fame, but he said Devin Hester is a Hall of Famer. You don't believe me? Listen. Just watch.
Listen, Devin Hester going to get into the Hall of Fame.
When he said that, I was just like,
what? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And then after he said that, of course, he's going on to talk about Darren Sproles and the amazing career that he's had, the versatility that he's had. And yes, I'm not going to knock Darren Sproles. He is versatile. He's a Swiss Army knife, I guess. He's good on he punt returns, he kick returns, he can catch out of the backfield. He's a running back. He's a do-it-all kind of guy. He's what we call in baseball a utility guy. He can play anywhere, anywhere on the offensive side, and do special teams. In baseball, that's what we call the utility guy. A utility guy in baseball is a guy that can play pretty much put him anywhere. Put him at short, put him at second. If we need him at first, put him there. He can play third base, play some outfield. That's a utility guy. And that's what Darren Sproles basically is a utility guy. They can plug him in where they need him on the offensive side of the ball and on special teams. But to say he's a Hall of Famer, it's a stretch for me. And these are my numbers that I've come up with. And we're going to compare 2 people. We're going to compare Darren Sproles, and we're going to compare a guy that was drafted the same year that he was. And it just so happens to be a Dallas Cowboy. He is being Marion Barber. So we're going to talk about Marion Barber, and we're going to talk about Darren Sproles, okay? So first, let's put up Darren Sproles' numbers, okay? His best year, his total, let's go with his best year. His total receiving touchdowns are 32. 32 receiving touchdowns, with his rushing touchdowns being 23, okay? And then his his, as you can see right here, and then his total rushing yards are 3,486. His total receptions are more than his receiving yards, which is 4,816. Now, we're going to leave out special teams because Marion Barber didn't play special teams. Now, when you add in the special teams, I forget the number. It's like 3,000 total yards. Darren Sproles has the record, I think, for all-purpose yards in a season. But, I mean, what kind of weight does that hold to get you into the Hall of Fame? To me, it doesn't. So his rushing in the 15 years, because he was drafted in 2005, it's 2019. Okay, not 15, 14 years, excuse me. In the 14 years he's played, he's racked up 3,486 rushing yards. His best year for rushing touchdowns was 6. How is that Hall of Fame numbers? His total receiving yards, like I said, was 4,816. His best receiving year for touchdowns was 7. How is that Hall of Fame numbers? You can see it right here, bringing his total to 8,302 yards receiving and rushing. Okay? I cannot see how that is Hall of Fame worthy, in my opinion. I get it. He's one of a few players that have 23 rushing touchdowns and 30 receiving touchdowns throughout his career. But come on, when you've played 14 years, I mean, come on. Really? So you're going to put him in the likes of Emmitt Smith, who has upwards of 120 rushing touchdowns. I don't know Emmitt Smith's receiving touchdowns. You're going to put him in the upwards of Jerry Rice, who I think holds the most receiving touchdowns in his career. If he doesn't, he's up there. He's in the top 3, top 2. I didn't look his shit up, but I'm pretty sure he is the main guy when it comes to receiving touchdowns. You're going to put him up there with those two guys. That is Hall of Fame material to you? I don't think so. Let's look at Marion Barber now. And see, Marion Barber was done in 2011. Darren Sproles is still playing. It's 2009. That's an 8-year difference. 8-year difference. Now, granted, it's 7 because we're not into the 2019 season just yet. But we're gonna count. We'll do 7 years. We'll do up until last year. A 7-year difference. Let's see what Marion Barber has, okay? He has 53 total rushing touchdowns to Darren Sproles' 23. Darren Sproles has more receiving touchdowns, yes. Okay, I'm going to give him that. Rushing yards, Marion Barber has 4,780. You want to know the difference between those two? 1,294 yards. Okay, yes, I had to write this shit down. Marion Barber's receiving yards, 1,330, while Sproles is 4,816, like we talked about. The difference between that is 3,406 yards. Bringing Marion Barber's total to 6,110. The difference there are just 2,192 yards. And Darren Sproles has played more years than Marion Barber. And you want to tell me Darren Sproles is Hall of Fame worthy? I don't see it here. I don't see it. I know I'm taking a big chunk, not a big chunk, but I'm taking a part of his game out with kick returns, but we're just going off of kick returns and punt returns, but we're just going off of receiving and rushing touchdowns. Because to me, a specialist like a Devin Hester, a specialist, if you were to just put Darren Sproles in special teams, those guys, I don't know what specialist made has made the Hall of Fame? If you can enlighten me, if someone can enlighten me, then let me know. But I don't think a specialist, a utility guy, if you will, has ever made the Hall of Fame like that. I mean, you're going to put Darren Sproles up there with Jerry Rice, with Michael Irvin, with Randy Moss, which I'm going to get to in a second because, oh my God, like I said, you can't make this shit up. But anyway, let's keep going. You're going to put him up there with Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, Thurman Thomas, those type of guys. LaDainian Tomlinson. You're going to put him up there with those type of guys? Really? Really? I don't see it. I don't see it. Now, before I end this, because this shit was funny, like I said, you can't make this shit up. He literally compared Randy Moss to Darren Sproles. Check it out.
Do Randy Moss got any kick returns? Now, you know, I'm not going to say Randy Moss might have a punt return. Do Randy Moss got any kick returns? Do Randy Moss got any rushing touchdowns?
Like I said, you can't make this shit up. When I heard that, I was like, are you shitting me? Randy Moss is a wide receiver. I'm sure that I don't think he was ever used in kick returns or punt returns. I'm not sure. I can't remember, and I didn't look up his stuff. But Randy Moss was a game changer. Darren Sproles isn't a game changer. And let's go back to the stats again with him and Marion Barber. Marion Barber's best rushing year on rushing touchdowns was 14. Sproles was 6. And you're going to tell me that Darren Sproles is Hall of Fame worthy? Really? I don't buy it. It's just wow. It's just wow for me. It is. I mean, like, I'm not knocking Darren Sproles and what he's done because he's a good player. He's a very good player, but that's what he is. He's not a standout kind of guy to me. Let's face it. When y'all won the Super Bowl, he was nowhere to be found because he was injured. He was out from week 3 on. You won a Super Bowl without him. Last year, he got hurt, came in towards the end of the season, which helped a little bit. But it was Nick Foles again. He's been, with your team 6 years? So for the other 4 years, y'all had him. What was he doing? Y'all didn't win a Super Bowl with him because he was gone. He was injured. He was hurt. So he's just a guy that took up a spot, and it's just funny to me because y'all want to sit there, Eagle fans want to sit there and talk about how, Jason Witten's coming out of retirement. Jason Witten he's not nothing. Darren Sproles just took someone's spot, and I'm glad a lot of it just, it's funny with Eagle fans because I'm glad they saw it because I was about to make a bunch of videos on a bunch of dudes that at one point we're talking about highly of Darren Sproles, and now it's funny because now they're like, well, we should have moved on from him. I really don't. It is what it is. They're kind of talking themselves into this signing. They don't like it. And it's funny. And it's funny. It makes me laugh. But Lord Brunson, of course, he's going to go to bat for his guys because that's what he does. He's an Eagles fan, and he's one of those guys. And I'm not knocking him for it because, we're fans of our team. But come on, man. Hall of Fame worthy? I don't think so. I'm out. Peace.
Bro, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.